नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है हमारे चैनल थिंक टैंक इंडिया पर। आज थिंक टैंक इंडिया में हम जो बात करने जा रहे हैं एक बहुत ही दुखद घटना को लेकर। एक जादवपुर यूनिवर्सिटी कलकत्ता में, जो एक रिनाउंड यूनिवर्सिटी है, नैक के वन ऑफ द टॉप रैंक्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में आते हैं इंडिया में। उसमें एक दो दिन पहले एक फर्स्ट ईयर ग्रेजुएशन एक स्टूडेंट के ग्रेजुएशन का स्टूडेंट जो बंगाली ऑनर्स लेके एडमिशन लिए थे, वो एडमिशन लेने के 2 दिन बाद ही यूनिवर्सिटी के हॉस्टल से उसके गिरकर मृत्यु हो जाते हैं। बाद में पता चलता है कि इसके पीछे रैगिंग का बहुत बड़ा की वजह से कई स्टूडेंट्स को पुलिस हिरासत में भी लिए है। लेकिन ये सोचने वाली बात है, जादवपुर जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी जो इंडिया के वन ऑफ द टॉप यूनिवर्सिटी में आते हैं, उधर रैगिंग के इतने भयानक कांड क्यों देखने को मिल रहा है? जो लेफ्टिस्ट लॉबी जादवपुर यूनियन को चलाते हैं, उसमें मुंह में एकदम जिप अटके बैठे हैं। कुछ साल पहले कोर्ट के निर्देश के अनुसार हमने देखा, तब जादवपुर के जो वीसी थी श्री विजित चक्रवर्ती सर, उन्होंने सीसीटीवी लगाने के इंतजाम किए थे। तब बहुत बवाल हुए थे, सुने गए थे लेफ्ट की तरफ से होप कलोरम, एक स्लोगन देके एकदम पूरे कलकत्ता को तब कर दिए गए थे और सारे सीसीटीवी तोड़ दिए गए। उनको भी यूनिवर्सिटी से जाना पड़ा, उनको भी रिजाइन करना पड़ा। लेकिन आज ये क्या दिख रहा है, ये क्या रैगिंग का चेहरा दिख रहा है? इस बारे में बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ श्री अनिमित्रा चक्रवर्ती जी जुड़ रहे हैं, जो बंगाल वॉलंटियर्स के जनरल सेक्रेटरी है। ऐसा ही नहीं, एक खुद भी जादवपुर के एक स्टूडेंट एलिमनी रह चुके हैं, जादवपुर के एक स्टूडेंट रह चुके हैं। अनिमित्रा जी, वेलकम टू आवर शो।
थैंक यू।
व्हाट इज, आप क्या बोलेंगे इस बारे में? व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन अबाउट दिस?
देखिए बसुधा जी, ये तो दुखद घटना है। दिस इज एन एक्सट्रीमली अनहैप्पी इंसिडेंट। आई डू एग्री टू इट, and this is not the first incident even, and I do agree to it even. And if my memory remains fresh, I must say that in the 70s and 80s and the early 90s, ragging had been a very common feature in the universities across India. And at the time, as far as Bengal is concerned, the Shibpur University and that Chakraborty University of IIT were quite defamed, were quite, were quite known for all these nonsenses and for all this, I better to use the word crime. But in the last few years, the ragging had declined in many institutions across Bengal, the state. But suddenly, the growth of this incident reflects on single objective, that a single aspect, that what we are seeing and what we're hearing of institutions are not completely correct. So there's much more behind it. Well, you have already said that Jadavpur University is a premier educational institution across India. I do agree to it. And since I had been an ex-student of the university, I must say that even in the 2003-05, when we were having these post-graduations in Jadavpur University, there was hardly any concept of ragging. Well, I was in the professional course of mass communication journalism, and so there was no such ragging, but sometimes there was mental harassment. Well, nothing did happen with me since the university knew me very well, but it did happen with any other person, but it was very almost like a teasing, nothing beyond that. But what has taken place now is not only serious. We must say that it's a time for the society, the social scenario, to come up and see what's going on there. What we have learned is that the boy who has been killed during the ragging was asked, well, I do beg your pardon, since you are a woman, and maybe women also are going to see this online telecast, but I must beg your pardon before saying all these things. What we have learned in
definitely.
this newspaper is that the boy was asked to narrate the physical intercourse of his own parents. He was
हमें लगता है किसी वजह से अनिमित्र जी के हमारा संपर्क टूट गया है। हम उसके लिए वेट करते हैं थोड़ा।
yeah, something got
अनिमित्र जी
wrong, I
हमसे
think.
पूछ यस 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 कंटिन्यू
Okay.
कंटिन्यू।
What we have learned, that boy was asked to narrate the physical intercourse of his own parents. He was asked to uh, make stories of the physical features of his own mother, and he was asked to identify or narrate what's the size of his penis or cock. How can this be a bit of ragging? How can this happen in a premier educational institution? Forget if it's a premier or not. I am trying to know, how can this happen in an educational institution? How can this happen? And this is not the handiwork or not the exclusive endeavor of any political person or any particular person, but there is also tacit support of the entire administration. Reports are coming up that this is not a stray incident. There have been such incidents even in the past years. So if this is an heritage, if this is a legacy of ragging in the university, what the hell the administration they're doing? And my question is also, what the governments are doing? What's the role of the state government in this case? What's the central government doing? As far my knowledge goes, Jadavpur University is a central institution and it comes under the purview of the central government. So if it comes under the purview of the central government, so what has been the response of the central government in this scenario? I haven't been able to see any such response from the central government. And this is extremely, extremely unfortunate. Well, I would not to say the word unfortunate, but this is extremely shocking. A young person, a young boy with lots of aspirations in his life was inducted into university following entrance examination. His marks, his performance and examination was quite well, or else he couldn't have been admitted in Jadavpur University. So if a meritorious student meets such a fate, what would be the fate of the other students there? And you have already said that even in the few years back, there was Ho Kolorob, and that compelled that VC Professor Vijay Chakraborty to resign, and the left students compelled the university administration not to use any type of CCTV in the entire college university campus. And this has indicated that the lefts or those leftist lumpens have taken the entire university to the ransom. So what has been the government's policies? What is the government's reaction till now? If it could happen 3 to 4 years back with Kolorob, so it's always expected that something worse is waiting for you. And any parent whose student was girl child or boy child is a student at the university can apprehend the same, that the same fate will meet his daughter or son also. So the entire scenario is extremely shocking, but I do think that there is also a huge conspiracy in all the incidents. Is it the ploy to move or to get the university rid of its brilliance? Is it a ploy to make the university look like a pauper in the educational scenario? So is it time for the governments to interfere with an extreme stringency? As for my opinion is concerned, I damn care whether it's democracy or not. I would be happy if the criminal, the Sanjay Chaudhary or the other persons who have been arrested, are taken to the gallows or the firing squad and be killed there, not to languish in the jails and the court cases for years after years. There must be the stringent action. There must be some exemplary decisions that can make the university move to its or recover or refurbish its lost image.
सर, आप देख रहे हैं जो हो रहा है, टीएमसी is not ready to take any responsibility in this university. वो बोल रहा है कि इधर तो मेरा कोई पावर ही नहीं है, all are running by लेफ्टिस्ट. और एसएफआई बोल रहा है हम तो ऐसे लिबरल लेफ्ट है, लेकिन हम लोग अल्ट्रा लेफ्ट नहीं है और हम ये सब नहीं करवा रहे हैं क्योंकि हमारे हुआ तो कोई, हम तो पावर में नहीं है यूनियन में. लेकिन जो यूनियन में है वो तो एक लेफ्टिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही है. अब इस बारे में क्या बोलेंगे?
Well, this is nothing but a leftist maneuver to confuse the entire situation. Okay, I do know it very well. Whether there's a liberal left or an ultra left, there does exist a strong coordination between all these blocks. And often, since I do stay in a area that is in the neighborhood of Jadavpur University, I do know it very well. That all the students of the lefts are in the same block at the end of the day. They're trying to diffuse the tension and confuse the entire situation. You've just spoken of the role of TMC. The TMC is trying to wash its hand of the entire incident. Then I would like to ask, what the hell is the ABP for without the pressure of the BJP or the Sasang? Why this student union has not taken any strong role on this? We have learned, we do know that the ABVP is also coming up in the Bengal as a prominent student force. So what's the responsibility of this organization? I do not know. You also know that ABVP has a very scanty presence in Jadavpur University. But that doesn't mean that the huge number of MLAs of the Bharatiya Janata Party and MPs that to represent Bengal in various sectors of national integration in the state assemblies or in the parliament should remain stagnant. I am yet to come with any such positive response for the politicians of Bengal. Take this from me. If all these politicians are trying to garner the public sympathy over this unfortunate incident of the death of a child, we have got to say that the civilian society, it's a time for it to come up and speak in straight voice what the hell is politics. Why should we be in a political world? What has been the role of politics in eradicating all this nonsenses from the social measures, from social spheres? We have said nothing. The political parties or the organizations are trying to get rid of the situation. But the fact is that each one of them is responsible for the entire occurrence.
Sir, my last question to you. ये जो हुआ, इस तरह की रैगिंग की घटना को लेकर हमारा जो स्टेट के एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर है श्री ब्रात्य बसु, उनको बोलने सुना गवर्नर तो इधर का आचार्य है, इधर का चांसलर है, उसको भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने चाहिए. और आप क्या बोलेंगे इस बारे में, और इस रैगिंग को कैसे खत्म किया जा सकता है इंडिया के एजुकेशन सिस्टम से?
The less is said of Brahma, the better it is, I think. He is a thespian. And what's the role of a thespian in educational department? What the hell is he trying to say? He's a professor. I have learned that he's a professor. But do you think a professor and educationist can pass such irresponsible statements? The education minister should have come to the university by now and have lodged an FIR on the part of the education department against all those persons responsible, ranging from this boy, his comrades, to the wardens, and all the persons responsible for such an incident. The education minister of the state government, I do not know, is yet to turn up in the campus. And all these measures are nothing but to maintain a public image, to retain the public sympathy for a political purpose in the coming elections. Now let me be very clear. When in a political culture, when in a political, socio-political state, a country, the politicians exercise such irresponsibility, then I must remember those words of Sir Winston Churchill, what is said during the transfer of power to India. Churchill said, and I quote, "Power will go to the hands of rogues, rascals, and freebooters. All Indian leaders are of lower caliber and men of straw. They will fight among themselves, and India will be lost in political squabbles." What we are seeing in Jadavpur University now is nothing but the manifestation of the same political squabble. The leaders are trying to get rid of the entire situation, and they are trying to wash up their hands, and they are trying to pass the ball from this court to that to retain the public sympathy. If this is a democracy, if this is what shall I say, a liberal culture, then I am the first person to go against this sort of perverted liberalism.
थैंक यू सर। अब जो हमारे चैनल पे आए, इतनी बेबाकी से बात की। आप जादवपुर के एक स्टूडेंट हैं, आप अपने आंखों से देख चुके हैं जादवपुर में क्या होते हैं, आपने खुलकर ये बोला, और हम भी चाहते हैं ऑडियंस के रैगिंग का ये जो डर है,
Last. You have said that what steps should be taken to end with this ragging. No such step can be possible unless the administration is sanctioned. Now, what the questions have been asked to this boy, what I said at the very beginning of the intercourse of his own parents, this is nothing but the brutal representation of the social degeneration. The way the highest profit-making industry of India, the online porn industry, is minting money with the tacit agreement or without an observation of the government. All these things are exercising a dangerous influence on the young psyche. And this is leading us to something which goes nowhere. But the sacrosanct ancient heritage of Indian value system is going down by the drain. It is getting eliminated. It is getting almost eradicated by each and every day. So unless we, the people who are talking now, become stringent, ragging can never be stopped in India. We must take a decision to make the governments or the political parties realize that the civilian system is extremely cautious, and we are observing each and every the movement of them with an extreme seriousness. Unless we, the civilians, come up, there is no future for the education scenario in India. I must say that.
थैंक यू सर। और दर्शक देखते रहिए
Thank you.
थिंक टैंक इंडिया। प्लीज शेयर, सब्सक्राइब, लाइक एंड कमेंट ऑन आवर शो। नमस्कार।
Thank you. Thanks.